nosotros los Latinos, although people continuously want to say that we're the problem in society, the reality is we're the solution. We're not the problem, we're the solution. Somos el corazón de este país. And we saw it during the pandemic, bro.
This is the True Hustle Podcast with your host, JR.
This is the True Hustle Podcast with your host, JR.
Ocotlán, Jalisco in the house.
Pa' que sepan.
Bam. Zacualco de Torres, Jalisco, brother.
There it is.
We're 52 miles away from each other.
Vecinos.
Somos vecinos.
52 miles or kilometers?
It was 82 kilometers, but I translated it and it said 52 miles.
Of course
Or
it did.
84 kilometers.
Yeah.
Because over there is, so
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what kilometers mean. Like, I don't know. So I had to, miles. Okay. 52 miles.
Yeah, well, paisano, puro Jalisco, and you can tell, man, we got the eyebrows, we got the nose.
Pinche pelazo.
El pelo.
¿Te pones moco de gorila, vato?
Moquito. I stepped it down.
So, like from where we're from, hacen todos los equipales.
No way.
Well, that's what we're known for.
Yeah.
You know those seats that have all los pinches equipales?
Mi suegro used to make those and sell them in San Pedro Tezistán, Jalisco, which is next to El Lago de Chapala. I don't know if you've ever been to El Lago de Chapala, beautiful area in Jalisco. And so him and his family used to make equipales and then literally carry them like on their shoulders, selling them door to door. Mi suegro, shout out to mi suegro Arturo. Yeah, so I definitely know what equipales are.
Yeah, and then I have my cousins from Zacualco that watch all my episodes.
Qué buena.
So they're going to be like, ¡ay, salió primo!
Saludo hasta Jalisco.
Vámonos. So did you grow up out there?
Yeah, when I was 5 is that we immigrated over to the States, to the OC, Orange County. Not the nice area, though.
Santa Ana?
How'd you know? Well, there's some nice areas in Santa Ana, but it was Delhi area. Okay. So, yeah, I was 5 years old.
How was it?
You know, it's interesting, right? Because my parents, and I tell the story, and it's true, that my parents told me that we were coming to the U.S., we were coming out here para ir a Disneyland, right? A conocer a Mickey Mouse. So I got all excited, bro. I was like, venga, dai, let's go. And like the only mouse I met was the one living in the garage with us, you know? We pulled up to, it was puro truco. We pulled up to my aunt and uncle's house, mi tía Nena, mi tío Manuel, and my primas. And I don't think we shout out the people that helped us out in the beginning enough as immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Myself being an immigrant. And I just want to definitely honor them and thank mi tío y mi tía and the primas. They had a small house in Santa Ana. And we lived in this like back room / garage area. And I had no idea that at that time, right? Like we were extremely poor. We didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have a lot of material things at all because we were rich in the things that mattered. We were rich in family unity, love, hope, and faith that if we work hard enough in this country, we can reach better things, right? That maybe
Absolutely. One
day we can reach a point where we can own a home, where we can put a car in the garage instead of live in one, right? And that's the idea, is like that dream. But I didn't realize that until now. I look back. I recently took my daughter there to that house in Santa Ana. Ariela and Alani, our 6 and 4-year-old daughters, to show them. And it was a cool experience because they're just like, wow, Dad, like, that was such a small house that you lived in. It was like, no, we didn't live in that house. We lived in the back, you know? But that's the great thing that we can't forget, to share how we started, how it all began to the next generation, because they will never know what that was like.
Absolutely not.
And there's so many times, Gerald, that we want to give our kids everything we didn't have growing up, but we can't completely leave them out of that experience, because thanks to the things that we didn't have growing up is why we hustle so much.
Yes.
Y por eso no se les puede dar todo. You can't give everything to your kids.
So I have kids too, and sometimes I'm like, okay, where do I draw that line where we are trying to give our kids the best life that we possibly can by being great parents, by giving them things that we didn't have. But there has to be a fine line, I think, in like, okay, but how do I make them appreciate this a little bit more?
Yeah.
And I think I'm with you on this. And sometimes I'm like, when am I doing too much?
Yeah.
Like, there's no parent what is it called?
Guide?
A guide that says, no hagas esto, no te pases, don't do this. So it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, like, when is it like, okay, I need to scale it back a little bit and you know, hacerlos que valoren las cosas un poco más.
That's it, man. My wife and I were just having this conversation now that our daughters are 6 and 4. And I think the key is, are we teaching them to earn things, right? That stuff doesn't just show up. Like, what are you doing to earn or deserve this, right? Because that's where it comes from, this whole conversation that we have about a lot of people in the new generation feeling entitled, is because at times they may have had parents that gave them everything. So they feel like that's just how the world's going to be, right? So to answer your question, and again, I haven't figured it out yet, but it's like, how can we make our daughters earn it? And it's through grades. For us, their currency is their faith, like, you know, loving and studying the Bible with us every night. Second is just being kind human beings, doing good things. And third is school. You get good grades, you do well, good report, your teacher, guess what? That earns you things. That's the currency at our household. You pay attention to mama and dada, se portan bien, you know what I'm saying? That's what earns you things.
Yeah. And I think...
and it also, there's ways to take things away. There's consequences if you don't do those things, you know?
And that's what I struggle with.
The consequence.
Yes.
Why?
Because I feel like, man, am I being a little bit too stern, or am I just being, am I being like my parents? Like, am I doing too much? Am I setting, like, expecting this when it's like, dude, tone it down. Like, they didn't grow up like how we grew up. And it's like I struggle with that. Like, I feel like, oh man. And then I go, you know, because I have my daughter and she's so sweet. She's such a sweet girl.
Yeah.
And best is, like, I say things and I, you know, one time I made her cry and I felt like that wasn't even my intention, bro.
Right.
Like, I was just like, sweetie, no. Because I know I don't use profanity.
Right.
Like, I don't curse at my kids. I don't be like,
Same.
oh, hija de la chingada. Like, the way they treated us, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least for me.
Yeah.
Because my parents were really super Mexican. So
Yeah.
I remember I just projected my voice a little bit, bro. It wasn't even nothing crazy.
We
And
always
she, like,
joke
looked
around.
at me and I was like, oh, fuck. I was
What'd
like,
I just do?
damn, I felt horrible. So I had to take her to Baskin Robbins. After, like,
The
this
ice cream
is
was
a
for
true
you. That was for
story.
you.
Yes, because I felt like fucking shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, man. So
Yeah.
did I just... So that's what I struggle with. I don't know if you go through things like that.
Yeah, no, and you're right, because there are ways that we grew up with where we're like, yo, that was a bit extra, you know what I'm saying? I always talk about how we Latinos, that's the reason why we have a flat backside of our head. I don't know if you've ever checked it out. It's pretty flat, bro. And it's like, puro sope o el chanclazo or whatever. But no, man, I also think that I saw a video go viral on social media about somebody talking about no podemos quitarle cada piedrita del camino a nuestros hijos, because then when they grow up, they won't know what to do when they encounter those piedritas. So, you know, you can't remove all the obstacles in your child's life, even like emotions or crying or feeling anger or whatever it may be, because then when they grow up, they won't know how to deal with that, right? Yes. And they'll get stuck. So I feel you on that. And, you know, obviously I think when we mess up as parents, because we do, and maybe we speak to them a certain way and we do make them cry, we should feel bad. And I think it's important for parents to apologize to their kids too, cuando la reguemos, no? When we do something wrong. But if it's something that you didn't do anything extra, you were just like, yo, I didn't like when you did this, or you should have done that, and then they start crying, you shouldn't apologize for that. Like, that's good that they're feeling that. Because that's going to drive them to not do it again, you know? So I think it's a balance, right? They're trying to find as we maneuver parenting.
Yeah. And it's like, for me, I'm doing things that weren't done for me. You know, I come from strong parents. Strong.
How many brothers and sisters did you have?
It's 5 of us total.
And so, where are you in the whole
I
lineup?
was the youngest till my little sister Stephanie came along. She's like 28. or 26.
How many
Something
years
that.
difference?
We're
between
like
you
12
two?
years apart.
Yeah, so my brothers and I are 13 and 15 years apart.
Oh, okay.
So I was a surprise in the family. Por eso tengo esta cara, right? So I was a surprise baby, right? My parents were 40. Mom goes to the doctor like, doctor, algo con el estómago, se me hace que son los frijoles de anoche. Like, no, like,
no way.
Like, your husband put a baby in you, you know? And then here I was. But, no, anyways, but going back to you, that's interesting. So you had a total of 4 in the family?
Well, it's 5 of us, including myself.
Right, but 4
So I
brothers
have
and
3
sisters.
sisters, 1 brother, and myself.
Yeah.
So.
And in what way do you feel like your parents were extra?
They're really, so they grew up in a rancho, of course, over there in Zacualco. So my grandfather died. Well, my dad's dad died when he was 11.
Wow.
So they were independent at that age. So I don't think my dad ever understood what it was to have a dad. So they grew up, and then my grandma, rest in peace, she was like dura, like man, she didn't play.
She had to step up. She was
So
a single mom.
I just think like in terms of my dad, I don't think he understood he didn't have that father, and now he had kids himself. So I don't think he understood what it was to be, more loving and more kind. They were just fucking.
They knew how to discipline to their way.
Provide. I mean, they're great. I love my
No, I
parents,
get you, bro. I get you.
And they did the best that they could, So I come from that, like my mom is so strong, brother. Yeah. She is one of the strongest ladies ever.
Wow.
So to me, and she has something similar. Like as kids, I don't think they were loved or appreciated the way a kid should be.
Yeah.
And then that's the only thing they knew.
Yeah.
So they raised us that way.
Yeah. It would be interesting, right? Like if a lot of our parents would have loved us as hard as they disciplined us, and I think that's what we're trying to do, right? I mean, gracias a Dios, my parents initially, they were very hard and disciplined, but my dad and mom are now in heaven now. They passed away within the last 3 years, but gracias a Dios, they were my best friends. Like I would call my dad every day, very supportive, very encouraging. They're the ones that taught me my faith, and I'm forever grateful for that. To have faith in God, to go to God with things, for hope, for peace, for joy. Like God is my source. So don't allow your circumstance to dictate your faith, but allow your faith to dictate your circumstances, and take back control of what's going on, because we don't have control of everything that's going around. We only have control over how we react, right? But I'm so grateful because my parents, they evolved also as parents. But I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was the baby and I was a surprise. So my brothers are 13 and 15 years older. So they weren't as hard on me. And they really just showed more love and support and encouragement. But they were still hard, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I mean, the chancla existed, fajazos existed, being home by 9 p.m. when I'm in high school, bro. Like, ¿qué onda con eso, I'm like, I'm glad they didn't have any daughters. She would have to be home at 5, But what I'm trying to get to is I'm grateful for that. And the challenge for us, bro, as, I'm an immigrant, but at the same time, I relate a lot to first generation Latinos or second or third generation. The challenge is, how do we take the good from our parents? Because there's a lot of good there, or else we wouldn't be where we're at. But then also, how do we break those generational chains of negativity, generational curses, whether it be alcoholism, whether it be abuse, verbal, physical, whether it be not being present, So it's taking the good and then stepping up and saying, I saw that, now I need to break these chains. Because guess what, JR? You don't want to pass that on to your daughter or your son. I don't want to pass that on to my daughters. And that's the blessing in it. Yes, we may have had a tough childhood. Maybe our parents didn't know it all just how we don't, but we know a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we get to break those chains, man. And that's the blessing in it as parents.
But you're absolutely 1,000% correct. all the good things. I have a lot of great things from my parents.
I can tell your hustle.
Like, I get that. My dad, he's met my dad.
Bernardo.
Full of fucking energies is the morning. I don't know, you know. And my mom, you know, like, as soon as you walked in, it smells good in here. It's nice and clean.
Limpieza.
My mom.
That's dope.
It's just like to the point where in my mom's house, and anybody that knows, they know. Like, you could fucking eat. Te puedes servir en el piso. That's how clean it is.
That's awesome.
I mean, not that you would, but you know, but it's just, I have all the great qualities from my parents.
Amen to that, bro.
You know,
and we got to celebrate that, and we got to tell them that, bro. I think, especially your parents are still with you.
Yes, yeah.
You got to let them know, man. I think it's important to let people know. We're very good at telling people what they're doing wrong.
Yes.
But imagine what our world would be, what your marriage would be, what your kids would be, what your friendships, what your workplace would be, if we highlighted and told people what they're doing well and thank them for it, you know? And that goes with our parents, bro. You know, I don't think we can thank them enough.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And just let them know, hey, I just want to let you know, Pops, your energy, your hustle, I got that. My hustle, I got that from you, jefe. Ma, mi oficina está así de limpia y huele bien rico. Gracias a ti, ma. Thank you. Like, you know, let them know, bro. And anybody watching this or listening to this as well, like, let the people you love around you know what they're doing well, because that's called positive reinforcement. You feel me? And in positive reinforcement sometimes is way more powerful than negative reinforcement or punishment, you know? Because it's like, okay, I did that. That felt good. Let me do it again, you know?
And I think it's cultural that we focus on the negative and bypass all the good shit, all the good stuff. So it could be an ocean of greatness and positive things, and there could be a 1 grain of negativity right next to it.
Yeah. And we're going to zoom in
on this.
Yeah, I feel you.
So that's when I think breaking chains and everything you mentioned earlier is very important, because I can't repeat that cycle. I mean, I'm blessed, bro. I think I had, you know, I wouldn't change a thing. And, you know, I love my parents, and now I'm more open about it. Yeah. Because, you know, I grew up and like we were like not to show emotions and stuff like that. But you're right. Why don't we tell them that they're doing great?
Yeah, and when you look in the work field, right, or the workforce, like your disadvantages as a child became your competitive advantage as a grown-up. The fact that you had to figure stuff out on your own, the fact that we were translating our parents' letters and biles, and you know, at 8 years old, calling AT&T and translating and figuring stuff out, o hablando con el doctor, or what have you, you know, that became our competitive advantage as adults, you know, and we got to be grateful for the good and the bad, but also filter it out and pass it on to the next. And like in your story, hermano, people may look at what you've built as in real estate, as an investor, etc. But to me, the greatest generational wealth that you're going to leave behind is how you're loving your children. Because money, they can figure it out and make their own one day if they really wanted to.
Yep.
But the love from their dad and appreciation, they can't buy that, bro. So that's the greatest generational wealth that you as a father, I as a father, can leave our children, to allow them and to let them know how much they're loved, how much they're valued, and they are worth it, and that they have a purpose on this earth, you know?
That's powerful.
Yeah, man. Really you're doing a great job. You were just telling me before we started recording that you go to the gym at 4:30 in the morning because your daughter has dance Monday through Thursday. So that's you waking up extra early to do what you got to do because you want to be there for your daughter, bro. Y mis respetos, carnal. For somebody as busy as you are, that you're making time for her.
And let me tell you about this dance thing. That shit is serious.
I'll try to avoid it, bro. With my
Bro,
daughters.
that shit right there. I'm just like, what? Monday through Friday? So sometimes like yesterday I got home early at 7:50. So it's like, dude, my head was hurting. I was tired, but it's like, oh man, I gotta go get her. So I leave from here. So sometimes, man, dance is serious.
Yeah.
Like, that's
No joke.
That's straight dedicated. Like Monday through Thursday, and then on Fridays I take her boxing.
No way. That I'm
So
down.
Monday through Friday, I'm like, that's why I know that, I answer my phone all the time. But sometimes I'm like, hey, I need to call you back. They're probably like, yeah, he's not busy. Bro, let me show you my schedule.
He's at the club. I heard music in the background.
I'm like, yeah, it's a bunch of 12-year-olds
Dancing,
like,
right?
Dancing.
No, that's serious, bro. And the discipline. Boxing's dope, though. I'm glad you brought that up. One of my good friends, rest in peace, Abraham, he told me this, that he's like, bro, really look into getting your daughter into jiu-jitsu. And he said just for like personal defense stuff,
Yes.
because that's grappling in a way. That's like somebody on you, chokeholds, this and that. So that's dope that your daughter's doing boxing.
And you know why I did it? My daughter is a sweetheart. Heart of gold.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
How old is she?
She's 8.
Got it.
Beautiful, bro. And then some, we talk a lot. So, I think she was having like a little issue at school. Like, Daddy,
Right.
they're not so kind. And I'm like, dude, not everybody's going to be kind, sweetie.
Facts.
Okay? Not everybody's your friend here. Long story short, I'm like, man, I be worrying and shit. Like, my wife's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, nah, man, she's too sweet. Like, I needed
Toughen her up.
Yes, like, oh man, hell not. So I start looking. I'm like, because I box.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
I didn't
like,
know that.
and then she's like, oh, Daddy. I was like, because I was gonna put her in MMA, which I
Right.
am. So I wanted to start with
All of it.
boxing, and then like once you master how to use your hands, I want you to master how to use your feet.
Yeah.
Like wrestle this and that. So like
good,
baby
man.
steps, because I feel that's super important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we had boxing and MMA class at home growing up with our parents.
for free. And then after that, some fucking tacos de frijoles.
And then, ven pa' acá, sabes que te quiero, ¿verdad? Te pego porque te quiero.
Entonces no me quieras y vas a meter unos putazones. Nah, just kidding.
No me quieras tanto. I do it because I love you.
So Abraham was the guy from
Fullerton Ford.
Fullerton Ford.
Yeah.
Rest
En
in
paz
peace.
descanse, him and his wife Alma. Yeah.
How did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin Valentino was really close.
That's your cousin?
Yeah.
Get out. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
he called. Yeah,
I saw him at the funeral.
We spoke.
Your primo.
Yeah, so my parents are his godparents.
No way.
Yeah, so we have pictures of us going. Yeah, since we were kids.
And that fool hasn't grown since.
He stayed the same, but his brain he's a smart guy.
No, bro. I admire Jay Valentino a lot, bro. Like, and yourself as well. Anybody that figures it out, man, and creates and builds a table and creates their own seat, and figures it out, that's admirable. And that's what a lot of our parents had to do too, but
Yeah.
no, but Abraham, en paz descanse, and his wife Alma, just a great leader, great father as well, invested in his kids. Everything he did was thinking about how can I help kids and others. It was just such an amazing servant leader. He didn't lead by, hey, do this, do that. He served you first, and then he led. And I love that type of servant leadership, and that's one of the biggest things that I learned from school. I studied leadership and all these things in psychology, and servant leadership to me is transformational. When you seek to serve and to support, that's the most fulfilling way to lead, and that's the way Jesus lived his life too. Mm-hmm. If you look at Jesus' walk on earth, when he was on earth, he seeked to serve others and to do what you're doing right now, bro. Just having conversations with people, asking questions. He was not a dictator. He was more about, hey, let's have a conversation. Well, what if you try this? What if you try that? So, anyways, Abe was a great example of that, man. And I know your primo,
Yeah.
Jay, knows that.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough for him. Because I don't. He was supposed to be there. It was tough. It was just tough, and I know he had a great relationship with him. And
just to fill you guys in, Abe and his wife were in an accident, and we'll leave it at that. Not their fault at all. Obviously, it's an accident. So you're saying Jay was supposed to be with them when that accident happened?
Yeah, that night.
That's wild, bro. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why, life is so precious. And I think we're so, speaking for myself, sometimes we're so caught up in making things happen and hustling that for a tad bit, we just get tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And forget.
Life becomes a to-do list.
I'm be the first to admit that shit, it happens.
Yep.
So sometimes you need to pump your brakes, step back and be like, oh man, take a breather. Just this morning, this is true. I told my wife, you know what? I think I've been like this. Wow. So this Sunday, I said, we're going to just have a barbecue. We're going to invite our friends and then my parents and boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Love it.
She's like, and my wife, she's like she's not like she is my best friend. So she listens to a lot of the stuff. So she's like, she looks at me, she's like, okay, let's do it.
Love it.
I said, let's go. So carnitas, vamos a tener de todo. I don't eat that much pork, but boom.
So I'm just going to assume I'm invited. Like, basically.
Boom. Puros pinches tacos. Y estamos a mitad.
Let's go. No, ¿sabes qué, bro? And that, I love that you did that. You saw that, it's almost like life was living you instead of you living life. And like your life became a to-do list. And sometimes we sit there and we're on the grind and we just feel tired by the end of the day, bro. We're just like, yeah, I accomplished all this stuff. Hice todo esto, but I feel empty. I feel drained. And sometimes, and I had a conversation like that last year with my wife about one day I just changed things up. I just said, hey, get the girls ready, please, once they get out of school, and get them ready. We're just going to go to the beach. She's like, babe, but it's like Wednesday. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're just going to go. And she's like, all right. And that's what I love about my wife. She's like, okay, got it. Cool. Vámonos. And literally it was just like for an hour and a half, we just went to the beach and just hung out. But what I want to get to is like sometimes you got to get out of the ordinary to experience God's extraordinary.
Wow.
But you got to be intentional about it. And I love that you were intentional about it, JR. You were like, yo, I'm feeling that I'm just like grinding, drained, cansado, giving a lot. Hold up. Who's controlling that? You are. So you were intentional about like, nah, let's do something out of the ordinary.
And you know what did it? So yesterday, after I picked up my daughter, we're driving. She's like, Daddy, ice cream.
Aww.
I'm like, I don't know, baby. It's Thursday. And she's like,
we're not allowed to have fun on Thursdays.
I was hungry. I was like hungry. My head was hurting. And I'm like, all right, let's stop at 7-Eleven. And we'll get you your ice cream. And I got me a tuna sandwich from 7-Eleven. And I'm sitting there once we got home eating a tuna sandwich at 8:30 at night. And I'm like, I don't know. Nothing against 7-Eleven fucking tuna sandwiches because they're bomb. But
and
I was
he survived,
just like,
okay? He's alive.
I was like, man, you mean to tell me that after all the stuff I did all day today, I'm sitting here eating a fucking 7-Eleven tuna sandwich at almost 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah. No, pues no.
So then I was like, no. ¿Sabes qué? Yo quiero carne preparada on Sunday. We're going to get this, we're going to get this, and we're going to do this. And sometimes you got to step back.
Se va a hacer o no se va a hacer.
I just felt, I don't know. I felt some type of way about it.
That's good, man.
And
that's good that you're aware of that. That's dope.
And I think it took some while for me to acknowledge things and step back and look at the big picture and be more intentional about everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because, I grew up super Mexican. And, we always, like we have those tendencies, like we focus on the negative and we do this. Like you have to reboot all that shit, man.
And we don't plan, bro. We don't plan stuff. We don't plan ahead. We just kind of we just take those madrazos and figure it out.
Hey, duck, boom, boom. So it's like sometimes I step back and I'm like, okay, I've been stressed all week, been doing all this other stuff, and at the end of the day, you're doing it for your family, right? So it's like. Okay, what's missing here? Like, okay, I need to back up, and just appreciate things a little bit more.
That's awesome, bro. Now, my wife and I have a podcast together. It's called Hanging with Los Sotelos, and our last episode was literally about being more intentional about everything you do, and the blessings that come with that, right? Because when you put intent, you're putting energy towards it. And you are devoting yourself to that, whether it be dating. We have a saying like, ella es mi novia eterna, y yo soy su novio eterno, like eternal boyfriend, girlfriend, because we never want to stop dating each other. Because a lot of people believe that marriage is the finish line. It's like, I got him to propose. I got the ring. Finalmente, I got him or I got her to marry me. Whew, we did it.
And it's just the beginning,
Bro, you're just arriving. ¿Tú me entiendes? Entonces,
you ain't lying
it's
about
like,
that.
never stop dating each other, bro. But you got to be intentional. I love that you are being intentional about the carne asada este fin de semana. And that's dope, bro. And the fact that your wife backs you up 1,000% on stuff like that, too, is dope.
It's because I think she...
Con que no la dejes lavando los trastes, bro.
I go really fast sometimes. So voy al 100. Chinga su madre. I'm fucking going. And I think she brings in that, stop.
She's that piece.
Relax. What's going on? Like, So I'm like, sometimes I'm like, dude, I saved thousands of dollars because she's my therapist. She has her psychology degree. Ooh.
There you go. Put it to practice.
She's like, dude, just,
Yeah.
And I think it's very important that your spouse supports you and you guys have a good you need to have good communication in your marriage.
Yeah, man.
Because both of you need to be on the same page, and we're all human. We're emotional.
Yep.
That's what we do. Sometimes we get so it's like you need to learn how to communicate and be on the same page because esto va para largo.
Así es.
It's not like like this is a marriage takes a lot of work, bro.
Yeah, no. You got to be intentional about it. That's what I'm saying. Getting married is not the finish line, bro. It's not like you get to chill and just, we got married, get some agüita, tranquilo. Like, no, bro. The race is just beginning, man. And you got to work at it. But, I mean, honestly, bro, you wouldn't be where you're at today in real estate if you weren't working at it. Imagine if you just didn't do what you're supposed to do. What would happen to your office? What would happen to your agents? If you just didn't do what you're supposed to do, didn't do anything. So people are shocked, like, we fell out of love. Like, what the hell? It's like, I went out of business. Okay, why? Oh, well, actually, you just didn't show up to the office, didn't call clients back.
And just sat there.
Same thing in a marriage.
Waiting for the stimmy.
Yeah.
Like, well, get to work. So how do you handle, because you do a lot. You have your podcast. Mm-hmm. Your radio show is in a lot of places, right?
Yeah, man. Gracias a Dios, we're heard in over 25 cities across the nation. We're the first bilingual, bicultural radio show that's heard nationwide from, East Coast, D.C., Jacksonville, Florida, to Houston, to Sacramento, San Diego, Vegas, and in between. And it's a project that we began 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. In the middle of the pandemic, or just when the pandemic kicked off, really, August of 2020. And it was a situation where I found myself without work, like a lot of people in the pandemic, especially in entertainment, because nobody was advertising. Everybody's locked up. There's no events. There's no concerts. The world shut down in regards to entertainment the way we knew it, right? Mm-hmm. So before that, gracias a Dios, I had worked in radio, in Spanish radio in San Francisco, in Dallas, and then I crossed over and did English radio in New York City. for a top 40 a station like Amp Radio or Kiss FM.
Okay.
So we did that for 3 years, gracias a Dios, and then we finally got to come back home to LA in 2018 when Carson Daly retired. We came in and did the morning show along with Brian Moot and Chelsea. We did the morning show here in Amp Radio LA for 2 years. And then once that wrapped up, it was the pandemic and nobody was hiring. I mean, they wanted to, but they couldn't. And so that's when you sit there and say, okay, what do you do? There's not a seat at the table right now. You got to provide. You got to figure things out. So we went and created our own table, built our own table, and we're independently owned now. And we're not where we want to be, but we're definitely going the right direction. And things are evolving and going well, gracias a Dios. But I never like to say, yeah, look at me, we made it, or yeah, I made it. Because as soon as you say you made it, then that means you're done. It's like, nah, man. It's like, hey, God is too good and too big and too amazing to just have you do this. Like, there's more,
And that's why I think it's important, like your purpose.
Yeah.
Because if you have a big purpose,
that's what drives you, man.
There is no I made it. No.
Yeah.
So you accomplished this.
Right.
But look at how much more you
Yeah.
have to accomplish.
Yeah. And that's what we're doing right now. We're diversifying the show where it's not just a radio show. We go in the studio and we create content Monday through Friday. It's a morning show, but we're heard in different time zones, different times. And then obviously we have the podcast form of the Shaboy show. And obviously our social media content and all that. And that's what it is nowadays, man. It's like delivering the content in every way people are consuming it. And I'm super grateful for our team, Vanessa, Eddie, Kim, Mitchell, the whole crew, man. They're super dope, and we're out here grinding and little by little,
And the power of social media. That's how we met.
That's it.
It's crazy, huh? I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, I gotta follow this guy. Okay. Oh yeah, we gotta have him on. I was like, man.
Thank you, Bernardo. By the way, do people know who Bernardo is?
Hell yeah. That
Okay,
guy's
cool.
Always with me. They're
right.
like, damn, that was like stuck to your hip. I'm like, well, yeah.
Bernardo, you usually just always the one doing the cameras and the audio and all that, setting all this up.
Yeah, the cameras,
Editing too. Oof. Mi respetos,
He
bro.
does every piece of content that I do, whether it's on the JR page or the True Hustle page, comes from that guy.
Mi respetos, bro.
The only credit I get is this room. This was my design.
I designed this.
But everything else is him.
And how did you and Bernardo meet?
Man, I was going through my chubby phase. Like, man, I need to lose some weight. So I had Will. What's up to my boy Will? I got a personal trainer. Because during COVID, I who didn't gain weight?
Yeah.
You know, and I got like COVID like 3 times. And I have asthma.
You had a stamp card. You had all the different variants.
I was looking kind of like, get some madre, she roba lonches. So then I started working out again, and Bernardo was filming for Will.
Your trainer.
My trainer.
At the gym, okay.
And then the first time we met, we were like, what's up? And then he had his camera, and then we left it like that. And then long story short, we're like, hey, well, let's go. Like, this is my vision.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And this guy's really passionate about it.
Nice.
So I was like, but this is how we need to do it. And then, I'm very particular. He'd probably write a book on how I am. But then
But he gets it.
Slowly.
There's a purpose for
but
that.
I'm going to let you tell it.
Yeah, but it's like there's, because before that I was already working with a lot of different people, like, YouTubers.
Órale.
I've been in Gary Vee's office.
Right.
I've done just different people, but I had been looking for like that person that's been like disciplined, that's really gonna like go. So then it just kind of went
Perfect.
And then this took a while too.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. When you find good partners also in business and in projects.
Yeah, because
And
they
that's
have to
dope.
share that vision.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain it to other people. They're like, dude, just film. But it's not just about filming.
Just film it, dude. Just do it.
Just do it, dude. Just do it. I'm like, That doesn't work like that. We need like a roadmap. Like, I can't just go like, if I'm going to drive somewhere, then be like, hey, just go.
Just drive, bro.
Well, how do I get there? You know, like, we need like a blueprint.
That's what's up.
And then slowly, like, you know, we didn't have the lighting at the beginning, right?
Right.
You know, we didn't have this. We didn't have that. And we just started doing it the way I feel. If you're going to do something, go all in. You can't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yep.
I've been like that since I was a kid. There is no in between with me.
I love that.
And if there is an in between, it's because it's not going to happen.
Wow.
That's
good.
And I get that from my parents.
There you go.
Mi papá, mi mamá. Like,
what are their names?
They call my dad Chon, and they call my mom Miros. So
Chon y Miros.
Miros. Bam. Vámonos.
Let's go.
And then
Is your mom from Jalisco too?
Yeah, we're all from Zacualco.
Okay, cool.
Well, my mom is from San Marcos.
Órale.
Which is like the next town over. But
¿Dónde hacen las cobijas, San Marcos?
Yeah.
La del tigre en caballos.
I still have like 3 of those.
They make them there?
Yeah, the cobijas San Marcos.
Wait, have you not seen like when I refinanced my house, they did the appraisal. They went to my room and took the picture, and they had a big ass tiger.
So those,
That's extra.
Cobijas San Marcos.
Those cobijas are Mexican.
Yeah.
San Marcos.
Bro, I saw those tiger cobijas in Poland.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably, you know,
I mean,
they probably
I'm sure.
get the material from over there. I mean,
now
we're global.
Look,
we're
nowadays,
global now.
I mean, the original ones, but probably now everything's made in China.
Yeah, basically.
At this point.
Basically.
But anyways.
So yeah.
I think the brand is San Marcos.
Yeah.
If you look it up.
Dude, they fucking used to sell them right there in Alameda.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we'd be, you know, drive by. And shit, I grew up going to Alameda Swap Meet.
Let's go.
That was our, that was it. That was our mall. You know, I was 17. The first mall I ever went to was Stonewood Mall right here, dog.
Yeah. Indoors?
Indoors.
You're like, they got air conditioning.
Hey, pero aquí no venden elotes. ¿Qué pedo? Aquí no hay raspados y bichi, my favorite churros.
Yeah.
I love churros, bro.
Yeah.
With ice cream. But anyhow.
I see ice cream. I see ice cream pop up a lot.
Dude, I love churros with ice cream. It's fucking weird. I don't know.
Before you ask the next thing, congrats. How many pounds did you lose since the pandemic?
I was 249. Almost 250.
And how tall are you?
6'1".
Oh, you're a tall dude.
Yeah, but dude, you could. So I'm 233 now. So I'm gonna get down to 220.
That's the goal.
That's when I met my wife. Wait, 220. Oh, just strong. I'm like, man, your plan was to get me fat, huh?
And how many years ago was that when you met your wife?
9.
9 years ago, she met you at 220.
I was 220.
And she stayed with you at 260.
250. Yeah, 250. Like, shit.
That's a ride or die right
so
there,
now
bro.
I'm like, no, ni madres. My belt today is on the last loop.
That's a good thing.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm like, oh,
you went all the way.
All the way. So that means that's it.
I don't know if the last meant like the last one on close to the tip.
No, like or that's it. Like the first I need a new belt.
The first one. Nice.
This shit didn't fit me. I mean, I know we didn't win the World Series this year. It was tough.
Bro. And a lot of people say that. I'm a Dodger fan as well. But a lot of people say that World Series doesn't really count because it was the pandemic year.
I was there. So it counted for me.
Let's go.
So how does somebody get into like radio and like that type of industry? Like in the entertainment industry.
First, you got to have the face for radio, first of all.
You have to be a guapo.
No, the opposite. You didn't get
shit.
It's radio full. People don't see you. So it doesn't matter. But now with social media, how did I get involved? So the plan was never to get involved into radio. But my brother, Eddie, a lot of people know him as Piolín. He's one of the godfathers of Spanish radio, morning shows. You're talking about Humberto Luna,
no
OGs,
way.
El Cucuy. Piolín is my older brother. He's my middle brother. And then Jorge, my oldest brother, is an executive pastry chef for all of Disneyland Resort hotels. And he started as a dishwasher. And then now over 20 years at Disneyland, award-winning executive chef. And I'm super proud of both of my brothers. The discipline, the work ethic. They're great dads, great husbands. So I'm blessed to have them. Even though growing up it was tough, bro. Having brothers that are 13 and 15 years older than you, you know, tu mamá te decía, espérate que llegue tu papá, you know, when I got in trouble. And then it was a pause. Y tus hermanos. And it was like, damn.
So te iban a dar tres madrizas. Oh,
Yeah,
my God.
it's like I had three dads, but my mom only, you know, had one husband ever. So, anyways, but, so it was never my intention to get into radio, but it was always my intention to serve people and to connect with people. And so I got my bachelor's in psychology at Cal Poly Pomona.
Oh, no way.
And then I got involved in politics and would go to DC to lobby for education for Latinos, etc. And at that time, I had to make a decision. I was going to get my master's at George Washington University in DC and go full blown. I had gotten accepted to that master's program in leadership or a leadership program here at Azusa Pacific University, which is a private Christian university. And what changed my life forever in regards to career, my brother's like, you know what? We're going to do a marcha. We're going to do a protest in downtown LA. And it was amazing. Look it up. Look at YouTube videos. This marcha was amazing, bro. You know, he connected with other locutores in Spanish media at the time. And I remember one time he went on air simultaneously with Ryan Seacrest in the morning and my brother. And I was in college at the time. And they were talking about this marcha. Long story short, close to 1 million people pulled up and marched the streets of downtown LA wearing white T-shirts. You were there, Bernardo.
Right there, yeah.
Bro.
With your brother.
With my brother? You have a picture of my brother?
Yeah.
Dude, you got to pull it up.
I don't know where it's at, but I know I have one.
Bernardo.
Wearing the white shirt. Yeah.
He asked everybody to wear a white shirt.
When was this?
That was May Day.
Yeah, around May.
It was the day that no Latinos work.
May 1st.
May 1st.
When though?
Un día sin trabajo. I don't remember the exact year.
Okay.
Do you remember what grade were you in?
I wasn't in high school anymore.
You're already college or like 20 something, 22?
No, I remember. I'll look it up.
Well, it was early 2000s when it went down. Entonces, I saw that march, bro. Close to 1 million, if not 1 million people. And you got to see the footage, bro. And maybe you guys can add some of the footage to the podcast. Sorry, Bernardo, put more work on you. But, I mean, helicopter shots, and it was just an ocean of people. What was most powerful, bro, is like he was able to help unite our community, which is very hard to do. Mm-hmm. Because, unfortunately, like, Mexicanos, and then you have Salvadoreños and Centroamericanos and Sudamericanos, and we have our own beefs with each other, which is terrible. So it's hard to unite everybody. And I truly believe that as Latinos, if we truly unite, regardless of your nationality, you know, whether you're Mexican, Salvadoreño, Guatemalteco, what have you, or Dominicano, that's the true power there, you know? But anyways, over 1 million people got together. There was no incidents of like fights or desmadre or disturbios. Like nobody, and Bernardo was there. Nobody's like breaking into stores or nothing. Like it was like super peaceful.
No,
and that was the whole point. Let's show them who we are. De que nosotros los Latinos, although people continuously want to say that we're the problem in society, the reality is we're the solution. We're not the problem, we're the solution. Somos el corazón de este país. And we saw it during the pandemic, bro. We kept it going from the produce to delivery to what have you. And I'm not saying that that's all we Latinos do. We do more than that. But we kept it going, to be honest with you. You know, my suegros, they worked in the strawberry fields for 20 years in Watsonville, California as immigrants. My mother and father-in-law. Now, gracias a Dios, they're business owners, etc. But these images hit my wife and I pretty hard because I don't know if you remember, man, there was like some really terrible fires going on in California during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So you had nuestra raza, our familias, our immigrant familias out there working in the smoke.
With just
grinding, bro. But anyways, that was the moment where I saw the impact you can have through media, at that time radio, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get into politics. I'm trying politics. I want to impact the community in a positive way, and that's what changed my perspective. and I got into radio, but I started off putting stickers on cars. My brother Eddie Piolín didn't want me to get in radio because he's like, bro, you're going to college. You're the first one in our family. Like, no, it's like, this is a tough gig here, bro. It's not, you know, it's volatile. It's wild. And the family didn't completely understand, right? Like why I wanted to go. And I was like, yo, but I'm on a street team. I put stickers on cars, one hand, no bubbles. Like, I'm really good at this.
Bubbles.
That's hard to do, bro.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's how I got involved in radio, working on the street team. But I had to work on the street team for like 2 months for free because my brother didn't want me to be in the field, out of protecting me, you know, not because of any hater vibes. But, you know, I showed up. I worked every day for free while I was going to college. And eventually doors started opening up. And my focus was more like the bilingual English dominant Latino, right? Like what you're doing with your podcast. That first, second, third generation. And what's dope now is that, you know, my brother and I, we support each other tremendously. We talk constantly, bro, about radio, life, etc. with my brother Piolín. But now we'll get listeners calling in our show or DMing us or whatever. But like, bro, I'm bugging out. He's like, because when I was a kid, my dad used to drive me to school and we'd be bumping your brother Piolín. And they're like, now I'm driving my kids to school listening to you, Shaboy. So it's like full circle moment, but like next generation, ¿sabes? So anyways, that's how I got involved in the radio, putting stickers on cars, man. And then
that's powerful.
2006.
Yeah. Do you remember Machete Records?
No.
Machete Records. You guys remember Aquid?
Actually, yes. Yes.
Like that whole movement?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty big right around that time too.
I graduated from Cal State LA in 2006. Damn, I'm old.
You didn't pull up to the marcha, fool. Where were you at?
Oh, man. Probably fucking
Yeah, but
studying.
check out the picture, bro.
Downtown, 1 million people.
And no incidents.
Nothing.
That's beautiful.
And the beautiful thing too is like I think we probably left the streets cleaner than they were. Like that was another big message. Like we're not gonna go and no vamos a tener tiradero. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, you know, Raza was out there selling elotes.
And I think
all the good stuff.
I don't think your brother was prepared for the amount of people because I remember he was on stage trying to talk, but the people shouting like whatever was too loud.
The chance. Yeah, they had like they didn't have a sound system for it, bro.
I
Nobody
think it was a truck.
expected that, man. It was powerful.
Damn, it was that deep.
Yeah, man. It was
But
dope.
it just shows.
Yeah,
man,
so
when we unite,
it's powerful.
it's powerful, brother.
So
it's a lot of us.
But it's dope because now, you know, you're doing it through this podcast and empowering and encouraging other Latinos. And we're doing it through our show. You know, our Shoboy shows, es un desmadre, es cotorreo, es desmadre. We have fun. We talk pop culture, lifestyle, etc. The bilingual, bicultural lifestyle, relationship drama. But there's moments in there where there's nuggets like here. And
Absolutely.
like most recently, I don't know if you guys saw this video go viral on Halloween of a Latino family going up to a house trick-or-treating, and there was a bowl left outside.
Oh, I did see that one.
And they said, take one, and like the kids and maybe even some adults, like they took all of it.
The whole fucking...
Right. So simultaneously, when everybody was sharing that video, which I told our team, we are not sharing that. I don't care how many likes. I don't care how many views we're going to get. I am not going to spread negativity about our own people. I know in every culture, every ethnicity, existen personas that aren't doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
But the majority of us as Latinos are doing the right thing. But you're always going to get negativity to go viral and drama.
That shit spreads like wildfire.
We found this other video, same exact scenario. A house, a bowl of candy, kids pulled up, but the bowl was empty. Same idea, take one candy, but the bowl was empty. You see this little kid named David, 8 or 10 years old, sees that it's empty. Oh, no more candy. He goes in his bag of candy that he's been collecting and puts candy in there, some of his candy, so that when other kids pull up, they don't miss out on getting candy. And once he does it, his sibling and a cousin comes up and they see what this little David's doing and they start putting from their candy in the bowl. And that's the video that we chose to share. And we told our listeners, yo, let's make this video go viral. And it did. Our listeners helped us find David's mom
Mm-hmm.
She's a single mom. We just had her on the show today. She's
No
a single
way.
mom. Works 7 days a week. She wasn't even there with David at that trick-or-treating moment. And I was like, how did it feel that when you weren't around, your son was doing the right thing and spread kindness? And she started almost breaking down in tears, bro. And she was just like, you know what? It means a lot. She said, because as a mom, and especially as a single mom, and I work 7 days a week para mantener a mis hijos, I'm always really hard on myself. Am I doing enough? Am I being a good enough mom? Entonces, that's the story we chose to go with. It was literally identical things, right? So it's about spreading that. And we surprised her, and we gave her a $200 gift card so she can go shopping for Christmas and whatnot. And she didn't ask for that. She didn't expect that, but that's what happens when you're intentional about spreading kindness and love and joy. And shout out to Rosalia Martinez from Sacramento.
Rosalia?
Rosalia.
Rosalia Martinez.
Great mom.
Great mom.
Shout out to all the
Good
single
job.
moms too.
It's tough, brother.
All the single moms, man. All the single parents, mis respetos. You are enough. You're doing an amazing job. If nobody's told you that recently, your sacrifice will not go in vain. God sees everything you're doing, and the blessings are coming.
Wow, that's powerful. That's deep.
So that's how I got on radio, and that's the reason why I got into radio, bro, and creating content. From moments like that, from moments to bring joy to our listeners, to bring hope to our listeners, to navigate through their relationship and toxico drama and all that, and to have fun with people, bro. Especially, it's such a blessing to do it in the morning as a morning show, although you can hear our podcast whenever you want. But it's a privilege to be there when people wake up and kind of set the tone for the rest of their day. Like you set your tone by working out at 4:30 in the morning. That sets a precedent for the rest of your day.
Exactly. And it just sets the tone. And I just think once you work out in the morning and you get your health intact for the day, it makes the day so much better.
Yeah.
Because you feel more like, oh, man, I did it at 4:30. And now it's 6 a.m. and I'm done with that.
Right.
And now I have the whole day. I have all this energy. I could be intentional about everything else.
Yep.
And
Clear mind, feeling good.
clear mind.
Let's go.
I don't wake up hungover because, I don't drink. So it's like
When did you decide not to drink?
when my daughter was born,
What was the reason that led to you stopping alcohol?
because I grew up drinking since I was 13. And I think when you're trying to run a business and produce at a high level and be efficient and intentional,
And clear-minded?
I need clarity. That's what I was going.
Wow.
I need clarity. So, bunch of knuckleheads in high school would drink, get drunk. And even in my 20s, that's all we did. I would work, party, do just a bunch of dumb shit, what a 20-year-old would do.
Exactly.
So.
Well, but now, now you're encouraging and giving hope to other 20-year-olds that are hopefully watching or listening to this, that they don't necessarily have to do that. Right?
They don't.
And how did your wife take that? The fact that you did change
Oh, she loves it.
and
She
don't drink anymore.
Oh, she don't drink either. So we're both like, yeah, but she prayed for it.
Wow. How did you find that out?
That's for real. Because she told me that, because when we met, we would drink together.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that wasn't it. And then we were drinking a lot, and she was like, she prayed. She just prayed, like, this cannot continue. This is not,
Yeah.
And we, I stopped drinking, and then she's pregnant, and then my daughter came along, and so yeah.
That's powerful. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we're doing a bunch of reckless stuff that no 20-year-old should be doing. But it's just, I understood that I wanted, this is a true story. I went to church, right? And I sat there by myself. I think it was a Wednesday. And I said, in Spanish, because, I pray in Spanish. I'm super paisa.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It gets the guy quicker in Espanol.
Yes, en Español es mejor. En Español es mejor. I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm here. I know that you're going to continue blessing me, and I know the abundance that you're going to give me. I see it. I feel it. I know it's coming, but I need you to help me. I need you to help me help myself. Like, I don't want to drink. I don't want to fucking do any of that shit. So I'm here. I'm telling you, like, I listen. I listen, and I know you're about to bless me with a whole lot of great things.
Amen.
But I need to have clarity and be 100% all in order for me to receive that.
Yep.
And that's a true story.
That's powerful.
I went and I walked out and I didn't touch a beer for like 3 years. Or was it 2.5? Something like that. And then now I'll have one here and there.
Leve.
But
you're in control.
yeah. I don't ever want to be drunk.
That's key
I don't know.
right there.
I don't know if that.
Just think about that, right? Like, what is the meaning of being drunk? And no judgment to anybody that gets lit or drunk or nothing like that. But what you're saying, I think if you want to function at a high level and be clear-minded and not get into situations, especially with our partners, we say some stupid stuff.
Stupid ass shit.
Period.
Yes.
You add alcohol to it, it gets stupid or stupid. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I was actually referring to, we say dumb things, and when drunk, we just puras pendejadas. That's another level.
Entonces it starts causing issues, or it can cause issues that there's no need for, bro. And like, is it really worth that buzz? But there's a difference, right, between un drink o dos, chill, social, tranquilo, compared to alcohol taking over. There's a huge difference, man, just in clarity and the way you function. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, what is drunk? Like, you have no control. Why would you want to lose control of your actions, your thoughts, your body? you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes, when you look at it that way, like, hey, do you want to lose control for the next 4 hours?
Drink this, a lot of this. And
some people will be like, yes.
Hey, imagine.
Speaking of,
if you want to offend people,
thank you, or just a bottle.
Thanks. If you want to offend people, if you want to do, if you want to use a lot of profanity, talk about fucking nonsense, here, go ahead, drink this, a lot of it. And
yeah, man.
And I think that's what I was afraid of. Like, I don't want to lose control. I don't want to offend people, because just like my mom says, el alcohol no te trae nada bueno.
Dang.
And it's true, but you don't see it until you're trying to do shit. And there's nothing, and people drink. I know a lot of people that drink, and it's cool. They can function. That's cool.
No, yeah.
But for me, I'm like, nah.
Yeah. No, exactly. I speak for myself as well, bro. And again, I think it's very important that, we don't pass any judgment on anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just that's what's worked and what I've seen in other friends and people too, like, a lot of issues happen because alcohol is very present in their life, or drugs, or what have you, so it's just like, is the buzz worth it? Is the high worth it, to the point where you need it? And I think it's very difficult. The challenge is when you feel like you need it. Going through what we went through and losing both of my parents within the last 3 years as they graduated to heaven, and then a period of time there where I was without a job, I'll have a tequilita here and there, etc. But I never wanted it to get to a point where I need it to make me feel better, because that's the hook. If you're saying you need something, you're now a slave to it because you need it.
And it's very true, because you become dependent on it. And I think it has a lot to do with, you think it's cultural that we grew up?
I think that's what it is, man. It's culturalmente, you spoke about your pop's childhood. He lost his dad at 11. I can't imagine what his life was like, bro. Imagine losing your dad at 11, bro, and living in El Rancho, and you know, your mom trying to figure things out on her own. So I think a lot of trauma from our parents and abuelos' life, literalmente se ahogaban en el alcohol. They would drown their trauma and their pain in alcohol, because for that moment, you know, they don't feel it. They literally go numb. And so it became a solution to what they're feeling, but people respond differently to alcohol.
Yeah.
You crazy, or you can be super chill or whatever. But then you got to deal with the hangover, then you got to deal with the health stuff. But yeah, bro, I think to answer your question, I don't know if it's traditional, because we see alcohol in every culture.
Yeah.
I think it's more prevalent in families where there was a lot of trauma and a lot of drama and a lot of issues. And we're just looking for, or people are just looking for a way to heal and make that pain go away. And alcohol is easy to access. It's not illegal. So, and it's not looked down upon, right? As compared to, oh, let me just go do a line of Coke real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think, and that's generation. We saw it, right? Growing up at times. Oh, that's how you deal with that. Te pones una peda.
And wake up feeling shittier. Like you think it's a solution, but it's not. Everything that you went through during the pandemic, because you went through a lot. I could just imagine, you know, losing your parents, losing your job. How did you handle that? All that it must have took a toll on you. So how were you able to manage? Because I know, I could just imagine how difficult it was.
Yeah. A lot of crying, a lot of praying. Thankfully, I have an amazing wife, Janet. I love you. Who's there, never stopped believing in me. And I think as men, bro, we put a lot of our identity and our value in our job and what we do, as if that gives us our worth, right? You know, you meet a man, and it's like, oh, what do you do? It's one of the first questions you ask a man. Oh, and what are you working? What do you do? And then we categorize or put the worth or value. You probably get this. People that might not know you. Hey, what do you do, bro? Oh, I own a real estate company. Oh. Yes. They automatically gave you a worth as a human being based on that.
You're right.
So you're asking me, how did I survive that, or how did I manage that? I realized and I reminded myself that my worth is not in what I do. My worth comes from the fact that God created me. He has a purpose for me. And that's what I got to focus on, right? It's like, let me give an example that I learned very young in my walk with God and my faith. There was this pastor that pulled out like $100 bill, right? And he was like, yo, who wants this $100 bill? And everybody's like, yo, me, you know? And they're like, all right, what if I told you that this $100 bill, though, has been stepped on and it's like dirtied up in like the dirtiest streets in the gutter? Who still wants it? Everybody's like, I don't care, bro. Hook it up. And then like, what if I told you that this $100 bill has been in the hands of drug dealers, murderers, and it's even been ripped? Who still wants it? Me. And he's like, why do you still want it? Because no matter what it's been through, it's still worth its value. Not because of what it's been through or not been through, but because its creator said, this right here is worth 100. And that's the way we got to see life. No matter what we go through, good or bad, our worth doesn't change. Our worth is the price that Jesus paid on the cross for us, that he died and rose again the third day. That is our worth. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, damn, man, I'm worth a lot. You know, and not in a cocky, weird way. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, valgo la pena. I have a purpose. So that's what helped me, man, is just understanding where my identity comes from, my value, my worth, and that a job doesn't define me. And in regards to my parents passing away, of Of course it hurts, man. You know, they were my best friends. I talked to them every single day, literally. And, but what helps me is understanding that I was blessed to have them for as long as I did. They were both in their 70s. I was able to come back home for the last 3 years to be with them. And just focus on the blessings and not the burdens. You know, I had a great life with them. They were amazing parents. Got to take my dad to a World Series game that was Dodgers. He loved the Dodgers, obviously, since Fernando Valenzuela and all that, right? Coming from Mexico. And he actually played with Fernando in Mexico.
No way.
When Fernando was coming up in Ocotlan, Jalisco, Mexico. So, anyways, so I just focused on all that, bro. And I remember, like, now it's my turn, right? They passed the torch to me. The Sotelo last name, the Montes last name, your last name. What is your last name?
Jimenez Vargas.
Jimenez Vargas. You see, you don't just represent yourself. You represent your last name. You represent your familia. You represent your culture, your generation. And when you start seeing it that way, bro, you're like, I can't just lay here, bro. I can't just give up. You know, I can't let my parents' sacrifice go in vain of immigrating to this country and all they lived through just for me to be out here and giving up. So, le echamos ganas, bro. And just want to continue their legacy, my parents' legacy, and pass it on to my children and our daughters, for my wife and I, and to anybody that's down to listen.
Man, that was deep. That was some deep stuff, man. Sometimes I think these episodes are therapy for me.
I appreciate you inviting me, bro. Like you said, for those of you who don't know, we didn't know each other before this. Like, I think we spoke once on the phone when we DM'd each other, or you DM'd me. I called you, and you're like, "Yo, bro, come on the podcast." I was like, "Yeah, for sure, we'll make it happen." And here we are. So I appreciate you bringing me on, and all this has been helpful for me too, bro. Because you, like you said earlier, sometimes you just gotta stop.
Yes.
And when you look back and see how blessed we've been, although many challenges and many difficulties, but you know, taking moments like this to think back and hearing your story too, bro, it's encouraging. So appreciate you creating a space like this.
Yeah, it's just sometimes we need, you know, the power of social media and the relationships that you could build, and you'll be surprised. Like, this has allowed me to have so many deep conversations with so many people, great people, and I'm just like, man, that really just happened. And I watched the episode like, man, that was good, you know? Like, man, so it's a platform that has allowed me to have a lot of great conversations and meet a lot of great people, and most importantly, give some great nuggets to our audience, you know, because everything that we talk about, there's a lot of people that go through this on a daily.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes they don't know, like, shit, just like we didn't. Now we know a little bit better because, you know, we've been through more stuff, and hopefully they could relate to it, and they could be like, hey, you know what? I can do it. I am worth this much.
Right.
I can pursue this career, that career, whatever it might be. And sometimes I feel, you know, because I do get a lot of DMs like, oh, man, that episode was amazing. It helped me. Dope. I did this, I did that. And I'm like, oh, man, this is like crazy. So
that's it, man. It's all about making an impact and planting seeds and empowering others.
What's next for you? Like, in terms of, because you got your podcast, you got all that stuff going. What else?
Yeah, to us, it's just, and the team is just, how do we continue to create content and finding different ways to deliver it to the audience? You know, gracias a Dios, we're seeing that people are enjoying our content that we're doing with the Shoboy show, with the podcast with my wife, hanging with Los Sotelo. So now it's just, how do you continue evolving and spreading that in other ways, and also to help, you know, the people on my team reach their goals, right? They're helping me, and it's a mutual goal, obviously, but you know, I want them to also be their own brand and encourage them to continue. So I want to be there to support them and to use the Shoboy Show platform to grow their brand, grow their brand and to grow themselves as well. You know, that's, you know, partly the opportunity that's given and working there. So for us, what's next? I'm working on a couple projects in regards to TV stuff. So right now our podcast is basically our live radio show.
Okay.
Gets recorded, chopped up without the music, and that way you can just hear the content.
Okay.
But we're also potentially in the works of just creating a podcast, just the crew, and just doing like an after show, after party where we could just kind of talk things out a little bit more.
Oh, that's
and
what's
then
up.
there's some other projects working on some other type of media.
All right.
But that's where we're at, man.
That's cool.
But most importantly, bro, just continue being the best possible husband and father. That's, you know, it's like for me, like priority wise, it's God, my wife, our girls, and then everything else.
Amen to that. And I think I have. It's very similar. Well, it's actually exactly. You know, God, our family. I just want to be great
Why not?
at everything. You know, I don't want to be just great on. I think if you're great at one thing, then every you lack being intentional on everything else. So why not just be great at everything? Be great at being a father. Be great at being a son. Be great at being an uncle. Like,
Yeah.
just be great
Yeah.
at everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, cuando llegue el día that God says, hey, you need to come back home to heaven, you know, what are people going to say about you at your funeral? I know it's a weird thing to ask, but for real, you know, what are they genuinely going to say? And if you don't like what people are going to say, or if you don't, right now you're like, dude, people aren't going to say nothing good about me. Well, guess what? You can change it right now.
You got time.
Be intentional.
You know?
A echarle ganas.
Echarle ganas and just make it happen, man.
Yeah, man.
Bernie, you have any questions?
I gotta ask this question, man. What was it like being honored by Barack Obama?
Yeah. So, yeah.
At the White House.
At the White House?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. How was it? Yeah, okay. I want to hear this. This has got it. Okay.
Yeah, so through radio and the Shaboy show, you know, we love to have fun, have a good time, but we're really about serving the community, right? So from, you know, partnering up with nonprofits like Create Purpose, where they have orphanages that they work with in Tijuana in Mexico. So they have, last couple of years, we've been helping support them. Create Purpose, please look them up. They're amazing. So they teach kids at the orphanage in Mexico how to program and how to code and do all that awesome computer science stuff, right? So that when they hit 18 and they're outside of the orphanage program, they don't have to go back to where they came from in regards to living in poverty, right? They have skills. So anyways, we've been supporting them with giving the kids scholarships, so everything's paid for, along with our listeners, laptops, etc. Every year we help them out. So community is always a big part. I'm also a motivational speaker at schools, colleges, etc. So anyways, I've done that since the beginning in radio, which was full-time, 2007. There was a point in time where, because of our community work, we got honored by the Obama administration. It was around 2000. It was between 2011 and 2014, más o menos. I don't remember the exact year. But we got to go to an event inside of the White House. We got invited. And at first, I didn't believe it. I got an email, right? It looks super. I got an email, and it looks super pirata. Let me At first, I didn't believe that I got invited to the White House because I got an email that looks super pirata, bro. Like, hey, Edgar Sotelo, you're invited to the White House. You know, President Barack Obama, que este que el otro. And then please fill in your information. And it had a link for me to put in like my social security and stuff. I was like, oh, hell no. Even though it's chueco, I'm not putting it in, you know? No. I'm like, dude, if you're really the White House, you know my social security number. Why would I need it? So I deleted it, bro. I'm like, whatever. I went out on with my day. Next thing you know, I get a call, bro. And it's like, hey, we're calling you from the White House, you know, staff member. I'm like, okay, yeah, what's up? Yeah, you haven't responded to the email. The Obama administration wants to invite you and a guest to the White House to honor and to thank you for all your community work that you do, et cetera, et cetera. You've been chosen, pa, pa, pa. I'm like, oh, shoot, it's real, my bad. So anyways, the wife and I pulled up. It was amazing pulling up to the White House and be like, hey, we're here, man. We're not here to paint it, you know? Nah, it was a blessing, man. You think of, you know, the sacrifice as immigrants, my parents, my wife's parents working in the fields for 20 years, everything they've done. And it's like, man, now their children, I think regardless of politics, and I don't want to make this about the left or the right, because that's not what it's about, but just the honor to be invited to our nation's capital and the White House was an absolute blessing. To be in there, to be in these rooms where, you know, some of the most powerful and crazy decisions have been made, and, you know, just generations, and to be in those rooms. And it was 100 people that got invited, and it was cocktails and appetizers. They had the Marine band playing in one of the rooms. Nos bañamos, nos peinamos, la wife y yo. And then the first lady at that time, Michelle Obama, spoke first, and the president, Barack Obama, came up and spoke, got to meet him, say what's up. And I was like, hey, pleasure. Thank you for the invite, but we need immigration reform. Like, necesitamos la reforma migratoria. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm working on that. And, todavía estamos esperando. We're still waiting for immigration reform, bro.
And what you say? ¿Dónde están los tacos? Aquí no hay tacos. Esa la verga.
Dude, yeah. So, it was cool, man. I'm super grateful and honored. All the glory to God for those opportunities, and my parents, bro. Like, if it weren't for my parents' sacrifice, leaps of faith, you know, and same for my wife, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
Amen.
And we wouldn't go where we're about to go. So that was a cool experience.
Wow. How was it being in there, though? Like, is it like super, like, is there like...
There's something that stood out.
Like, you were like, ay, wait. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, was it like, how was it going in? I never been. What? So I'm like, dude, I just want to ask. Like, how was it, dog?
It's just, it's surreal, bro. It looks like you're in a movie, but it's real life, right? The rooms, and you just start thinking about the history. We were in the library, and then where they put like the Christmas tree inside, and you see pictures of these other presidents and past presidents and stuff like that. It's wild. I recently got to go back when they did the movie premiere for Flaming Hot.
Yes.
So got invited to that, but it was in the lawn outside. They had they put up a big screen. Eva Longoria was there, etc. So that was dope. That was a dope experience too, up in the lawn. But being in there was surreal. And I got to have a conversation with one of the gentlemen that works there, part of the staff, you know, like serving the food and all that. Un Latino. And so I remember just talking to him for quite some time. And a lot of the staff stays there regardless of who the president is. Like, for
so they see
terms.
the changes.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, ¿son buena onda o qué? Like, no, son buena onda.
No, este güey no.
They're cool.
Este güey no dispara ni un refresco.
I know, right? No, it was dope, man. You go through a bunch of security points to get in, which is pretty interesting as well. And yeah, it's cool.
So people really live there? Like, you were probably like, fuck, people really live here.
It doesn't have a home feeling, though. Like,
it's not homey?
It's not homey. You know what I'm saying? It's not it. You would go in there and remodel it de volada.
Póngame el piso.
Yeah.
¿Qué es esto? Oh, fuck.
Flip the White House. Let's go. Pimp it out.
Bro.
Yeah. For the suegros to live? ADU.
Oh, fuck. I just imagine, like, how it would be to be there. Like, how much security?
Imagine, make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's go. You're gonna get invited next, bro.
Yeah, I'm down to
Pull
go.
up.
But I'm going to be like, Presidente, ¿qué pedo? Help out my
Yeah,
people, way.
yeah. I know, man. It's like I think on both sides, man, there's just too many promises and not enough for our people, man, to be honest with you. So that's why I don't subscribe to either left or right. I vote more on issues and things of that sort because it's just like los dos lados it could do a lot more for our people, bro, to be honest with you.
There's a lot of false promises
Yeah.
that I think are not being met. And I
Yeah.
think that they're utilizing every 3.5 years.
Well, don't you feel
approximately?
Don't you feel that like politicians only talk to us like when it comes around to election
Yeah,
time?
that's what I'm saying. 3.5 ish.
It's like all of a sudden, like they would start visiting like my brother's show, my show, like right around that time, election season. Now they want to talk to the Latino community.
Yeah,
And you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Sound like you gotta do better.
Yeah.
Just do better and do what. I don't know, like do what you say you're gonna do. Like, let's just start there.
There's a
like,
concept.
Shit, like. But anyways, I don't want to go to left
Yeah,
to right.
yeah.
But yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm grateful and it was an honor. Gracias a Dios, we got to go hang out at the
Does
White House.
what's it called? Barack Obama talk like that? Like, hey,
Yeah. Like,
so she's just like that the whole time.
yeah, he's real chill. I think he's probably one of the presidents that's had the most swag. You know what I'm
Now,
saying?
did he shake your hand like this? Or did he shake it like, what's up, my boy?
Yeah, I didn't go in like this. I remember shaking like that. There's actually a picture, and because he was just walking by, right? Like, he went up to the podium, he spoke, and it was in imagine like a ballroom inside the White House, but it's not that big, bro. But big enough to get like 100 people in there. And then he's done, and he was like literally hanging out, But you have security service, ¿cómo se dice? Security service, the Secret Service with him, and then he stopped by and like took pictures, said what's up to everybody. But nah, I shook his hand like this.
That would have been funny if he would have been shaking everybody.
What's up? No, because the Secret Service is very like, they see somebody coming in.
No way.
Yeah.
Because I think I seen a meme where he's like shaking everybody else, like, hey. And then he seen, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was a basketball player. And he's like, what's up?
They probably knew each other, yeah.
But anyhow, I know you got to pick up your daughter. So I know.
Thank you, bro.
I don't want to keep you longer. But, man, this was good. I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming. It means a lot to me. I know you're busy, but you took the time. And it means a lot to me, brother. Thank you so much.
No, igualmente. Appreciate you, Bernardo, JR, and all the people that watch you and listen to you, man. Thank you for what you're doing, bro. I think it's important to continue empowering, encouraging,
Absolutely.
and sharing the mistakes that we've made in the past and what people are doing well, so that hopefully other people don't have to make the same mistakes, but get even better results than what we've accomplished so far, So thank you for this
Absolutely,
platform.
my brother. Thank you. And it means a lot to me. And I know for me, I empower all Latinos. I've had Salvadorans on here.
That's dope.
I had, so it's like, we got to be the change, right? And that's what I'm doing. And I know that your story, my story, and everybody else's story is going to empower people. And it's like, dude, you could do it, man. Just do it. Get to it. We all go through shit.
Yep.
There's not one person that does not go through shit.
Yeah.
We all do it, but we got to get over it. We got to learn how to communicate better with our spouses, with our friends. And sometimes, it's just the way it goes.
That pain we feel, though, helps you reach your purpose. Because, like, you started working out, right, during the pandemic. And I bet you felt a lot of pain. But because of that pain, you were able to lift heavier weights. You became stronger and so on and so forth. And I think the same applies to our life. and not to minimize anybody's pain or trauma and so on and so forth. It's very valid, but at the same time, that can propel you and that can be your motivation to reach your purpose, you know?
Absolutely. And that's how we're going to end it, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. We out. True hustle, baby.
Ánimo.